أعوذ بالله السميع العليم البصير من الشيطان الرجيم من همسه ونفخه ونفثه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. بجاه سنقرؤك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله، إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى. يا معلم آدم علمنا، ويا مفهم سليمان فهمنا. يا معلم آدم علمنا، ويا مفهم سليمان فهمنا. يا معلم آدم علمنا، ويا مفهم سليمان فهمنا. بكرامة وعلمك ما لم تكن تعلم، وكان فضل الله عليك عظيما. اللهم إنا نسألك أن تفتح علينا فتوح العارفين بحكمتك، وتنشر علينا وقايتك العظمى ونعمتك الكبرى ورحمتك الواسعة، وتعلمنا ما جهلنا وتفهمنا ما درسنا ودرسنا، وتذكرنا ما نسينا أو نسينا، وتنفعنا بما علمتنا، وتبارك لنا في علمنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. بكرامة من أرسلته رحمة للعالمين محمد ابن عبد الله وآله وصحبه أجمعين، آمين. وبعد، المستمعين الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين. We thank Allah, we glorify Him, we adore Him, we appreciate Him in all forms that pleases Him, and we seek His blessings and mercies in abundance upon the noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ibn Abdullah, his companions, his household, and his followers until the day of judgment. We welcome ourselves again to the continuation of our series of discussion on AtaiLlahi Al-Sakandari. Today, making the 28th of Ramadan, year 1444, after the hijrah of the noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Yathrib, equivalent to the 19th of April, year 2023 CE. So we are treating today, inshallah, the 26th aphorism, yani aphorism number 26 of the 246 aphorisms of Ibn AtaiLlahi Al-Sakandari. We're going to read, inshallah, see whether there are words that beg for attention, then go to the literal translation, followed by the conceptual message and meaning, and later by the interpretation of Sheikh Abdul Majid Al-Sharnobi, rahimahullah. The aphorism goes thus, and I read as such: Min alamati nujhi fi nihayati الرجوع إلى الله في البدايات. Again, من علامات النجح في النهايات الرجوع إلى الله في البدايات. That is the aphorism in text. And let's see, there are about 2 or 3 words that seeks for attention. Number 1 is alamat, which is the plural form of alama, meaning symbol, signs, symbols, directions, okay, symbols of something. And nujhi with Dhamma, with a vowel U sound, unknown, is taken from najah, or najaha, safety from something, But here, it will be literally translated as success. Okay, success. And nihayat is another word. So it is the plural form of an-nihaya. An-nihaya, that is the ends of things. An-nihayat, the ends of things. Al-ruju'u is another word. It is an iltifatu ila al-wara. That is literally turning back, looking at the back. But it is synonymously used here as al-i'timad, reliance, okay, reliance, depending on, الرجوع إلى الله بمعنى الاعتماد على الله, reliance on Allah, depending on Allah. The last word that begs for attention is al-bidayat, which is the plural form of al-bidayah, So meaning literally the beginnings. All right, so those are the words in meaning. Now, the literal translation of the aphorism goes thus: min alamati nujhi fil nihayati, of the signs of success in the endings, al-ruju'u ila Allahi fil bidayat, returning to Allah at the beginnings. Okay, we read again the literal translation. Min alamati nujhi fil nihayati, al-ruju'u ila Allahi fil bidayat. Of the signs of success in the endings is the returning to Allah at the beginnings, or in the beginnings. That is the literal translation. Okay, it means one of the signs showing and assuring success at the end of any process, most especially for a seeker of the truth, al-murid, is to start everything that he wants to do, most particularly is journeying towards realization and actualization of the divine presence of Allah. So to rely, to depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the beginnings. That is to say, we still refer back to the first ayah, the first verse that was revealed unto the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. So the Iqra there would be in any form, any action, any amal, any deeds, any activity in our life. So it has to be the Ismi Rabbika, it has to be with, for, by, and on the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So anything that is started and commenced in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is assured to end in success. And any other deeds, any deed that is void of starting with the name of Allah is tend to fail, to end in failure. So the conceptual message here is that in whatever we do as seekers of the truth, we put God first. Okay, putting God first in everything. Okay, so that will assure the success in the end. So if we start with the intention of seeking for God, for the presence of Allah, and in serving Allah and humanity, and we are sincere about it, that will give us a nujhu in nihayat, success in the end. But on the other hand, if we rely on our abilities, our capacities and capabilities and strength and efforts, thinking that we can do it, we have the technical know-hows, we've got the certificate, we've got the instrument, we've got the tool, we've got everything that is required for us to move on, then rely on that. That is a sign of failure in the end, no matter how flourished the way seems to be. Okay, so a very short conceptual message is put God first in everything in order to achieve success in the ends. So let's go into the interpretation of Sheikh Abdul Majid Ash-Sharnobi. He says, من العلامات الدالة على النجح بمقصوده للمريد بمقصوده في نهايته الرجوع إلى الله تعالى بالتوكل عليه والاستعانة به في بدايته. One of the signs signifying the success of a seeker of truth in his desires and aims and objectives, okay, in the endings, is for him to carry Allah along, for him to return to Allah the Majesty, for him to purify his intention for Allah, for him to be sincere in his seeking for the truth, بِالتَّوَكُّلِ عَلَيْهِ, by depending on him, وَالْإِسْتِعَانَةُ بِهِ, and seeking his support and assistance, فِي بِدَايَتِهِ, at the beginning of his journey. فَمَنْ صَحَّحَ بِدَايَتَهُ بِالرُّجُوعِ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالتَّوَكُّلِ فِي جَمِيعِ أُمُورِهِ عَلَيْهِ نجح في نهايته التي هي حال وصوله إلى مطلوبه وفاز بما يقربه لديه. فمن صحح بدايته, anyone who perfects his beginnings, his starting point of journey, بِالرُّجُوءِ إِلَى اللَّهِ, by depending on Allah, by referring to Allah, by being sincere to Allah. وَالتَّوَكُّلَ في جميع أموره عليه, يعني والتوكل عليه في جميع أموره, and rely on him completely in all his affairs. نجح في نهايته التي هي حال وصوله إلى مطلوبه. He will succeed in the end, which is the achievement of his desires and aims and objectives. وَفَاذَ بِمَا يُقَرِّبُهُ لَدَيْهِ, and he would achieve, okay, it will be accorded that which will bring him closer to the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَمَّا مَنْ لَمْ يُصَحِّحْ بِدَايَتَهُ بِمَا ذُكِرَ انقطع عن الوصول وَلَمْ يَبْلُغْ فِي نِهَايَةِ أَمْرِهِ الْمَأْمُولَ. But on the other hand, مَنْ لَمْ يُصَحِّحْ بِدَايَتَهُ بِمَا ذُكِرَ, anyone who fails to perfect his beginning with that we have mentioned, what are those? الرجوع إلى الله, returning back to Allah. التوكل في جميع أموره, depending on him in all his affairs. To anyone who fails to accord Allah all this at the beginning of his journey or anything that he wants to do, in qata'a anil wusul, he will be severed, he will be cut off from achieving his aims and objectives. وَلَمْ يَبْلُغْ فِي نِهَايَةِ أَمْرِهِ الْمَأْمُولِ, and in the end, he will not achieve and actualize his aims and desire. So قال بعض العارفين من ظن أنه يصل إلى الله بغير الله قطع به ومن استعان على عبادة الله بنفسه وكل على نفسه. So a word of sages, a word of wisdom here says, من ظن أنه يصل إلى الله بغير الله. Anyone who assumes that he could arrive at the presence of Allah through other means other than Allah, kuti abihi, would be severed from the way on the journey. That is, will be deprived of the actualization of his aim. وَمَنِ اسْتَعَانَ عَلَى عِبَادَةِ اللَّهِ بِنَفْسِهِ, anyone من استعان بنفسه على عبادة الله, يعني من اعتمد على نفسه على قدرته على عبادة الله وكل على قدرته أو نفسه. Anyone who relies on his efforts, on himself, on the servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will be left with that himself, with that with his own ability, his own purported capability that he thinks. Meaning to say, he would not be aided, he will not be supported, he will not get divine assistance. So that is the end of the interpretation of Sheikh Abdul Majid Ash-Sharnobi. May Allah be pleased with him. So in general and in sum, so the conceptual message here is putting God first, carrying God along in our journey, starting from our intention. We have to make our intention purified solely for Allah and sincerely for His own purpose. And with that, we will achieve success in the end. For we have put Him, His Majesty, at the beginning. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the fortitude to be among his beloved seekers of truth and servants who are sincere to him wholeheartedly and do everything in accordance with Iqra Bismi Rabbika Alladhi Khalaqa. Recite in the name of your Lord who has created everything. With this, we end the session for today, inshallah, until we meet again tomorrow in yet another aphorism. I surrender myself and all of you under the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, under whose protection and guide nothing is missed and lost. أستودعكم ونفسي في رعاية الله الذي لا يضيع ودائعه والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.